Hi everyone, it's very good to see you here in Busan, my fellow colleagues, bankers, lawyers, and industry players. So I think it is not best time because I know that you are very eager to see our lunchtime. So I'm your panelist, so that I ensure to complete the session before lunchtime. So my name is Kane Chung again. I'm working at the transportation logistics sectors in ING Bank Singapore. So before moving into our sessions, the topic of the sustainable finance, diverse perspective from financiers and Shipowners, I'm pleased to introduce our panelists, Mr. Choi Wonbum from KSS Line and Mr. Hanki, CFO from H Line. So one thing I just wanted to mention is that for the benefit of the majority audience, the discussion will be held in Korean. So I hope you're understanding. 네, 그래서 이제 지금 저희가 말씀드리고 싶은 거는 이제 서스테이너블 파이낸스에
So we would like to deal with the topic of sustainable finance for this session. For the past 2 days, there was a kind of the maritime business conference. So sustainable finance was one of the frequently mentioned topics in those conferences as well. And in this session, we'd like to talk about diverse perspectives from financiers and ship owners regarding sustainable finance. Sustainable finance has been regarded as a kind of broad concept, particularly from the perspective of how to use ESG-based finance to achieve sustainable development goals. And if we take a look at the specific the vessel or the ship or maritime business, actually the focus has been narrowed to ESG-based vessels and the maritime and the business practices. And from the perspective of regulation led by IMO, there have been many efforts made to meet the 2050 net zero targets. And sustainable finance trends, particularly in terms of ship finance, there was no global level guidelines. So each different bank or financial institution came up with its own sustainable finance guidelines, particularly in terms of ship finance. So some banks just offered a sustainable finance fund to scrub vessels regarding the scrub vessel as a kind of green vessel type. Some other financial institutions didn't actually regard the scrubber vessels as a kind of green vessel type. And EU taxonomy just was introduced, and EU taxonomy became the guidelines or a kind of global guidelines for the adoption of sustainable finance for sustainable products or the vessels. But if you follow EU taxonomy for green asset or a green vessel, we actually need to follow a very strict definition of green asset. So in order to be a green asset, the vessels shouldn't use fossil fuels. It means that LNG fueled vessel will not be regarded as a green vessel because LNG is not also regarded as a fossil fuel. It means that there will be very small number of available sustainable finance. So for the past few years, sustainable linked bonds were the main or the common products in the market. Sustainable the development targets are pursued by a certain company, and the KPIs are established to achieve that goal. And once those KPI targets are achieved, then the margin, the favored margin, can be provided to the specific company. That was a form of sustainable finance for the past a few years. But now it seems that we just come up with more flexible the application of green asset definitions. So some dual fuel vessels can be regarded as green assets. So they can be subject to green loans. So sustainable link loan is the kind of loan product which was first introduced by KSS line in the Korean sustainable finance market. So my question here is from the perspective of ship owner, what is the current status and what are the difficulties regarding sustainable finance?
I'm Wonbum from KSS Line. First, we have major Korean shipping companies in Korea, and KSS Line, a rather small company, is honored to be invited as a panelist. I'd like to thank ING Bank for this opportunity. The term sustainability is prevalent not only in the shipbuilding industry but also in other industries. For the past 2 to 3 years, the term has become a buzzword. From the standpoint of a shipping company, we are facing a number of challenges. As you said earlier, in shipping, there are 5 major challenges. As you know, climate change response, relevant environmental regulations are 2 of the challenges, and as mentioned by the shipyard, how to use alternative fuels is another challenge. And hydrogen is mentioned as a future fuel. The role of shipping in energy transition is another key topic. And we have ESG management as part of sustainability, and there are many requirements and challenges related to that topic. Against this backdrop, despite our small size compared with other shipping companies, we have been easy to choose an alternative fuel. We are an energy transportation tanker specific company. We mainly work on LPG and methanol. And we can choose this as alternative fuel to carriers we are operating. This is our company's example, and we are mainly working on LPG. We have LPG vessels, and we also have methanol-powered vessels. These 2 vessel types, we have LPG DF engine and methanol DF engine. These engines were applied to vessels for the first time in Korea, and at that time, we didn't have relevant government regulations. We worked with KR and the Ministry of Fisheries in order to define legal requirements in order to develop these vessels, and these vessels are going smoothly currently. And these days, there's a lot of talk about ammonia. In Far East Asia, we are the only one operating and owning ammonia-fueled vessels. And the vessel in the picture is ammonia-fueled vessel. It is not a vessel with ammonia DF. We are considering developing such ammonia DF vessel. And as mentioned earlier, vessels with ammonia DF had some technological issues preventing us from commercializing those. But in the future, we'll be working on ammonia-fueled vessels. I think we'll be likely to order those vessels. And the Busan City and the Ministry of Industry have funded for the development of a vessel as part of a demonstration project. This vessel is rather a small size, but it is equipped with LNG, DF, and batteries. So it is a special purpose vessel, and the vessel has been developed for test pilots by relevant Korean companies. We are participating in the project to operate the vessel. As mentioned by the shipyards, which fuel ship owners will choose is a very challenging topic, and Let me talk about our ESG and management. We are one of the few shipping companies with a strong focus on ESG. In order to communicate with stakeholders, we adopted and published an ESG report since 2016. Recently, almost on an annual basis, we publish these ESG sustainability reports. It is not just for a show. And the report details concrete efforts and progress we have made so far. And green projects, sustainability financing, regarding those topics, the KOBC towel, and we have been collaborating to produce green bond ESG rating report. With that ESG rating, we'll be planning to issue a green bond for the first time. So, actually, we conducted that as a pilot, and the pilot was successful. And based upon that, we'll be working hard on our ESG management.
Is that all? Yes, thank you. So all shipping companies or ship owners are moving toward the direction of net zero. So like KSC line, here at my company H-Line Shipping, we just declared ESG-based management and sustainable growth. Since 2016, we placed order for eco-friendly vessels only. And when we sell our vessels based on the Hong Kong Convention, we also included a mandatory provision which requires eco-friendly dismantlement of the old vessels or obsolete vessels. So based on this Hong Kong Convention, we just make a mandatory provision. We make a mandatory provision for eco-friendly dismantlement of all the ships. So we've conducted dismantlement of 5 ships in an eco-friendly way for the past few years. And also we placed order for 16 eco-friendly vessels, and those vessels are being in operation right now. And 2 of them are first of their kind, and they are capsize vessels. And also when it comes to PCET, 2 of them are LNG dual fuel vessels, and we are making huge investment in eco-friendly types of vessels, particularly the scrubber or the onshore power supply device or route optimization equipment are the efforts that have been made by my company to respond to a eco-friendly future. So for more detail, the ESG framework and ESG-based management principles, please refer to our website. As it was mentioned by Managing Director Choi, many shipping companies are working toward the direction of eco-friendly business practices. And we believe that we've established eco-friendly practices in terms of our own the business management, but a single shipping company cannot achieve Go Green targets. Rather, we need to join our forces and move together toward the green future. And also the regulators and the financiers should collaborate and cooperate and support the shipping companies and ship owners as well. Thank you very much.
네, 그 말씀을 잘 해주셔서 제가 궁금한.
Thank you for your answers. In order to go green, as you mentioned, you need support from relevant organizations. From the standpoint of financiers like us, what kind of requirements there are from ship owners.
간단한 질문으로서 대체를 좀 하고자 합니다.
So let me answer that with a simple question.
특히 이제 그 중소형, 중견 선사 같은
For mid-sized shipping companies, green financing, sustainability financing, their understanding of this concept is rather limited. How to prepare and how to respond are something they are not fully aware of.
예를 들면 이게 대응하기 위해서 선사가
Financiers can provide certain requirements for ship owners or shipping companies to meet. Are there any requirements financiers expect shippers or shipping companies to meet? So,
Can I give a direct answer? To the best of my knowledge, many global financial institutions have supported eco-friendly vessels. And as a person in charge of green finance at my company, my question is, what is the difference between green finance and existing finance products? Sometimes green finance makes complex matters more complex from the perspective of ship owners and shipping companies. And what I can tell you from the perspective of shipping and company, on behalf of shipping companies, is that ESG has been emphasized to a great extent. Not only the eco-friendly vessels, but also the vessels which are joining in the efforts of greenhouse gas reduction should be able to subject to the sustainable finance. And also, I believe that some other the hidden areas should be also included into the area subject to sustainable finance, and also there should be certain favors offered to ESG-focused companies. So, what is most important here is the collaboration between its different economic sector or the industry sector and the relevant financiers. So all the stakeholders should get together and should be benefited in terms of forging a future direction. And that's the way that we can actually attract the cooperation of all the stakeholders. That's the kind of painful point that you've just mentioned. And I can come up with the most honest answer that I can come up. So the banks introduce the sustainable finance to its clients, and the most important internal guideline regarding the offering of green finance is that the green finance shouldn't be the simple products with a kind of additional margins offered to the clients. So sustainable finance is not a kind of economically beneficial, simply economically beneficial product. Rather, it's a kind of a collaboration medium which requires collaboration between banks and ship owners. So the banks shouldn't pursue margins when they deal with this green finance, because the green finance is designed to foster collaboration between the ship owners and the shipping companies and the banks. So the additional the incentives were designed in the form of margin benefits. And however, in the market, actually, the emphasis put on green has been disappeared, and actually, the companies just recognize green finance as a kind of cheaper finance, cheaper products. So I believe that certain the change should be made in terms of the green finance is recognized in the market. So from the perspective of banks, we just changed our attitude and perspective. So when it comes to the green loan, we just applied the same criteria with regard to the offering of products. So each bank has a different perspectives or kind of strategies for their green finance, but still, actually, what is common is that banks just lower the interest rate related barrier regarding their offering of green finances. So some banks actually just come up with a very narrow margin of green finance or no margin of green finance at all, and that would be also the future direction from the perspective of financiers or the financial institutions. And also, I would like to take this opportunity to tell you that in order to apply for a sustainable finance, the companies need to be sincere about sustainable growth or sustainable management. So sustainable management-related report should be announced, and also the company's commitment to sustainable growth should be publicly reported. Such companies will benefit not only in terms of a lower interest rate, but also in terms of a better brand image. So that's the kind of piece of advice that I can give you.
근데 제가 그 모더레이터로서 아까 말씀드렸
I made a promise to finish this before lunchtime, but we have gone beyond our time. We have prepared a lot more topics, but we have gone beyond the time limit. So why don't we continue our discussions over lunch or after lunch? And you can feel free to approach these two gentlemen for further discussions, and thank you for your kind attention.